Are you secretly fueling the AI revolution against your will? What if I told you your own data is being used to train these massive AI models, potentially putting your job, your creative work, and even your privacy at risk? It's happening, and it's largely invisible. The dirty secret is, these AI models are hungry. They're ravenous for data, your data. And the tech giants aren't exactly asking for permission. But what if you could say no? What if you could actually opt out of this whole thing? This isn't just about privacy. It's about control. Control over your information, your work, and your future. Today, we're diving deep into the fight to reclaim that control. We'll explore how your data is being used, the risks involved, and most importantly, what you can do to protect yourself. Buckle up, because this is a wild ride, and the stakes are higher than you think. Did you know that some experts are predicting that within the next 5 years, AI could automate up to 40% of white-collar jobs? That's a staggering number, and it's fueled by the very data you're unknowingly contributing. Let's get into it. So, how exactly is your data ending up in these AI models? It's a multifaceted problem. First, there's the obvious, social media. Every post, every comment, every like is a data point. These platforms are massive repositories of personal information readily available to AI developers. Then there's the content you create online, blog posts, articles, code, even forum discussions. All of it is fair game for web scraping, a process where automated bots crawl the internet, collecting data for various purposes, including AI training. But it doesn't stop there. Even offline activities can contribute. Think about loyalty programs, credit card transactions, and even smart home devices. All of this data is being collected, aggregated, and potentially used to train AI models. The sheer scale of data collection is mind-boggling. We're talking about petabytes of information being processed every single day. And while some companies are taking steps to anonymize data, the risk of re-identification remains a serious concern. It's like trying to unscramble an egg. Once the data is out there, it's incredibly difficult to put it back in the box. And here's the kicker. Most of us have no idea this is happening. We click agree on those lengthy terms of service without actually reading them. We blindly trust that these companies have our best interests at heart. But the reality is, the incentives are often misaligned. They want our data to train their AI models, and we want the convenience and functionality these models provide. It's a trade-off, but is it a fair one? Let's look at a recent case. A group of artists discovered that their work was being used to train an AI art generator without their consent. They filed a lawsuit, arguing that this constituted copyright infringement. The case is still ongoing, but it highlights the growing tensions between AI developers and content creators. This isn't just about art. It's about any creative work that's being used without permission. The implications are enormous, and the legal landscape is still evolving. This is a critical moment for defining the boundaries of AI development and protecting the rights of individuals and creators. Let's delve deeper into the legal and ethical implications. The core issue here is copyright. Copyright law protects original works of authorship, including literary, dramatic, musical, and certain other intellectual works. But does it protect against the use of those works for AI training? That's the million-dollar question. AI developers argue that using data for training falls under the doctrine of fair use, which allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research. However, fair use is a complex and fact-specific determination. Courts consider several factors, including the purpose and character of the use, the nature of the copyrighted work, the amount and substantiality of the portion used, and the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. The key question is whether the AI training is transformative. Does it add new expression, meaning, or message to the original work, or does it merely supersede the object of the original creation? If the AI is simply copying the style of an artist, for example, that might not be considered transformative. But if it's using the data to create something entirely new and original, then it might fall under fair use. It's a gray area, and the courts are still trying to figure it out. But here's the ethical dimension. Even if something is legal, is it right? Should AI developers be allowed to profit from the work of others without their consent? Many argue that it's fundamentally unfair. They believe that creators should have the right to control how their work is used, especially when it's being used to train AI models that could potentially replace them. This is a debate with no easy answers. It pits the interests of innovation against the rights of creators, and it's a debate that's going to shape the future of AI development. Think about the implications for journalism. AI models are now being used to generate news articles. But where does that data come from? It comes from the work of human journalists, who spend countless hours researching, writing, and editing their stories. If AI models can simply scrape their work and generate articles without compensating them, what incentive will there be for journalists to continue producing original content? The same goes for music, film, and any other creative field. The potential for AI to disrupt these industries is enormous, and we need to have a serious conversation about how to ensure that creators are fairly compensated for their work. Okay, so what are the potential solutions? One approach is differential privacy. Differential privacy is a technique that adds noise to data to protect the privacy of individuals while still allowing for useful analysis. The idea is to add just enough noise so that it's impossible to determine whether a particular individual's data was included in the dataset. This can be achieved through various mathematical techniques, such as adding random numbers to the data or using cryptographic methods. Differential privacy is not a perfect solution. It can reduce the accuracy of AI models, and it's not always easy to implement correctly. But it's a promising approach for protecting privacy while still allowing for AI training. Another solution is anonymization. Anonymization involves removing or modifying identifying information from data to make it impossible to link it back to a specific individual. This can include removing names, addresses, phone numbers, and other personal information. However, anonymization is not foolproof. Even if you remove all the obvious identifiers, it may still be possible to re-identify individuals using other data sources. For example, if you know someone's age, gender, and zip code, you may be able to match that information to a specific individual in a database. That's where de-identification comes in. De-identification is a more rigorous process than anonymization. It involves removing or modifying identifying information in a way that makes it extremely difficult to re-identify individuals, even with access to other data sources. This can involve using techniques such as data masking, data suppression, and data generalization. But even with de-identification, there's always a risk of re-identification. The best approach is to combine multiple techniques, such as differential privacy, anonymization, and de-identification, to create a multi-layered defense against privacy breaches. And it's not just about technology. It's also about policy. We need laws and regulations that protect privacy and ensure that AI developers are held accountable for their actions. The European Union's General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, is a good example of this. It gives individuals the right to access, correct, and delete their personal data, and it imposes strict rules on how companies can collect, use, and share that data. We need similar laws in other countries to protect the privacy of individuals around the world. But here's the challenge. Technology is evolving faster than the law. By the time we pass a law regulating AI, the technology may have already moved on. So, we need to be proactive. We need to anticipate the potential risks of AI and develop regulations that are flexible enough to adapt to new technologies. This requires a collaborative effort between policymakers, technologists, and ethicists. We need to have a serious conversation about the ethical implications of AI and develop guidelines that ensure that it's used responsibly. But what if you want to take matters into your own hands? What if you want to actively opt out of having your data used for AI training? That's where things get tricky. Currently, there's no easy way to opt out of AI training. Most companies don't offer a specific option to exclude your data from being used for this purpose. However, there are some steps you can take to reduce your exposure. First, be mindful of what you share online. Think before you post on social media. Consider whether you really need to share that personal information. The less data you put out there, the less likely it is to be used for AI training. Second, read the terms of service carefully. I know, it's tedious, but it's important to understand how your data is being used. Look for clauses that mention AI training or data sharing. If you're not comfortable with the terms, don't use the service. Third, use privacy-enhancing tools. There are a variety of tools available that can help you protect your privacy online. These include VPNs, ad blockers, and privacy-focused browsers. These tools can help you encrypt your data, block trackers, and prevent companies from collecting your personal information. Fourth, support privacy-focused companies. There are a growing number of companies that are committed to protecting privacy. These companies offer products and services that are designed to minimize data collection and maximize user control. By supporting these companies, you can help create a market for privacy-friendly technologies. Fifth, demand transparency and accountability from AI developers. Ask them how they're using your data. Demand that they offer an opt-out option. Let them know that you care about privacy. The more pressure we put on AI developers, the more likely they are to take privacy seriously. And here's a radical idea. What if we created a do not train registry? A registry where individuals could list their names and request that their data not be used for AI training. This would require companies to actively check the registry before using data for training. It would be a major undertaking, but it could be a powerful tool for protecting privacy. It's time to start thinking creatively about how we can reclaim control over our data. The AI revolution is happening, but it doesn't have to come at the expense of our privacy. We can have both innovation and privacy, but it requires us to be proactive and demand change. Now, let's talk about something a bit more sinister. Data poisoning. Imagine someone deliberately injecting false or misleading data into the training dataset of an AI model. The goal? To corrupt the model and cause it to make errors or exhibit undesirable behavior. This is data poisoning, and it's a growing threat to the security and reliability of AI systems. Data poisoning attacks can take many forms. They can involve injecting malicious code, manipulating data values, or even creating fake accounts to generate misleading data. The impact of a data poisoning attack can be devastating. It can cause AI models to make incorrect predictions, discriminate against certain groups, or even be used for malicious purposes. For example, imagine a data poisoning attack on a self-driving car. If the attacker can inject false data into the car's training dataset, they could cause the car to misinterpret traffic signals or even drive off the road. Or imagine a data poisoning attack on a facial recognition system. If the attacker can inject false data into the system's training dataset, they could cause it to misidentify people or even allow unauthorized access to secure areas. Data poisoning is particularly dangerous because it's difficult to detect. The attacker can subtly manipulate the data in a way that's hard to spot. And even if you do detect a data poisoning attack, it can be difficult to remove the corrupted data from the training dataset. So, how can we protect against data poisoning attacks? One approach is to use data validation techniques. Data validation involves checking the data for errors or inconsistencies before using it for AI training. This can include checking data types, ranges, and formats. Another approach is to use anomaly detection techniques. Anomaly detection involves using AI models to identify data points that are unusual or suspicious. This can help you identify data poisoning attacks early on. A third approach is to use adversarial training techniques. Adversarial training involves training AI models to be robust against data poisoning attacks. This can involve injecting adversarial examples into the training dataset and training the model to correctly classify them. But the most important thing is to be aware of the risk of data poisoning. Be vigilant about the data you're using for AI training. Check it carefully for errors or inconsistencies. And be prepared to take action if you suspect that your data has been poisoned. The future of AI depends on our ability to protect it from these kinds of attacks. It's a war out there for data integrity. So, where does all this leave us? The future of data ownership is uncertain, but one thing is clear. We need to have a serious conversation about who owns our data and how it's being used. The current system is broken. Most of us have no idea how our data is being collected, used, and shared. We need more transparency and control. We need laws and regulations that protect our privacy and ensure that we have the right to access, correct, and delete our data. We need companies that are committed to protecting privacy and that offer products and services that are designed to minimize data collection and maximize user control. And we need to be proactive. We need to educate ourselves about the risks of AI and take steps to protect our privacy. This is not just a technical issue. It's a social issue. It's about power. It's about who controls the information that shapes our world. And it's about whether we're going to allow AI to be used for the benefit of humanity or for the benefit of a few powerful corporations. The stakes are high. The future of data ownership is going to shape the future of society. And it's up to us to decide what that future looks like. Are we going to allow our data to be used without our consent? Or are we going to reclaim control and build a future where privacy is respected and data is used for the common good? The choice is ours, and the time to act is now. So what do you think? Are you concerned about how your data is being used for AI training? What steps are you taking to protect your privacy? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos on AI, technology, and the future of society. Thanks for watching. And remember, stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay in control of your data. The future depends on it. All right, folks, that's a wrap for today. We've covered a lot of ground, from the sneaky ways your data is being used to train AI models, to the legal and ethical minefields surrounding copyright, to the downright scary possibility of data poisoning attacks. I know it can feel overwhelming, but the key takeaway is this: you are not powerless. You have the right to demand transparency, to protect your privacy, and to reclaim control over your data. So what can you do right now? First, take a few minutes to review the privacy settings on your social media accounts. Limit what you share and opt out of data sharing agreements where possible. Second, start using a privacy-focused browser and search engine. There are plenty of great options out there that prioritize your privacy over tracking your every move. Third, consider using a VPN to encrypt your internet traffic and protect your location. Fourth, support organizations that are fighting for data privacy rights. They're working hard to hold tech companies accountable and to create a future where privacy is respected. And finally, talk to your friends, family, and colleagues about this issue. The more people who are aware of the risks of AI and the importance of data privacy, the more likely we are to create meaningful change. This isn't just about protecting our individual privacy. It's about protecting our collective future. It's about ensuring that AI is used for the benefit of humanity, not for the benefit of a few powerful corporations. So, let's get to work. Let's reclaim control over our data and build a future where privacy is respected and innovation thrives. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you found this video informative and empowering. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content on AI and the future of technology. And as always, stay curious, stay informed, and stay in control. Until next time.